Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityaṁ bhāgavata-sevayā Bhagavati Uttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtake Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajeshatanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachitupasana Vrajavadhu Vargena va Kalpita Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Pramanamamalam Prema Pumartho Mahan Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu Matamidam Tatradarana Param Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desha Tarini Jai Shri Kṛṣṇa Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Antaya Madriya Bala Haridasa Varyo Yadrama Krishna Charana Sparsha Pramoda Manam Tanoti Sahago Ganayostayoryat Pani Suyavasa Kandara Kandamulai Govardhanadharam Vande Gopala Goparupinam Gopalotsavam Govindam Gopika Priyam Vande Navaghanashyama Dvibhujam Muralidharam Pitambaradharam Devam Sharadam Purushottamam. Hare Krishna, dear worshipable devotees, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 27. Lord Indra and Mother Surbhi offer prayers. And they offer prayers to Kṛṣṇa or Govardhan. So we were discussing, we started with text 1 last time. And we had a very good discussion on that subject. So Indra came with Mother Surbhi after he realized. So we discussed the 6 R's. And so Indra accompanied Mother Surbhi and they approached Kṛṣṇa. So what they did, we'll continue. Vivikta upasangamya vridita krita helana pashparsha padayorenam kiritenarka varchasa. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Indra was very ashamed of having offended the Lord. Approaching him in a solitary place, Indra fell down and lay his helmet, whose effulgence was as brilliant as the sun, upon the Lord's lotus feet. Purport: the specific solitary place where Indra approached Sri Kṛṣṇa is mentioned by sage Sri Vaishampayan Harivamsha, Vishnu Puran 19.3. Sa dadarsho pavishtam vai govardhana shilatale. He saw him, Kṛṣṇa, sitting at the base of Govardhan hill. From the commentaries of the Acharyas, we understand that Lord Krishna wanted to provide a solitary meeting for Indra so that he would not be further humiliated. Indra came to surrender and beg forgiveness, and the Lord allowed him to do so privately. Hare Krishna. So, now this is the mention of the place that Indra vivikte, that's the word, vivikta, upasangamya. So he approached, remember, upagaman, upasangamya. So he approached, so discussing approaching the temple, remember, abhigaman, sorry, abhigaman, right? Upavas, upa means to approach close, or like upavas, the word upavas means, vas means to reside, upa means close. Upanishad, right? To sit close and hear. So here, upa sangamya, he approached. Vriditaha, he was ashamed. Krita helanaha, because he had committed an offense. He realized he made an offense. Pashparsha, sparsha, sparsha. So sparsha means touch, right? Sparsha word we discuss in this verse also. Charana. Yadrama Krishna's charana sparsha pramoda. So pasparsha. He touched padayo. His feet, Krishna. So he approached Krishna. So his feet he touched. How? Kiritena, with his helmet. Helmet means the crown. Prabhupada used the word helmet. It's not the Honda motorcycle helmet. So generally, when the word we hear helmet, we may hear of that motorbike helmet. It's basically referring to the crown. Prabhupada used this is that word for the crown. He was not driving the Honda or some motorcycle, and he, took out his helmet. So this is the Indra's crown, right? So basically, surrendering one's, like, the highest. What's the highest thing? The crown is the highest thing, right? For a king or Indra. So surrendering the topmost thing at Krishna's lotus feet. That the lowest part of the body is the feet, and the highest part of the body is the head, and on top of head is the crown. So that's the meaning. The highest part of my body at your lowest part. That's the meaning of, taking shelter, like putting our head to the feet of Krishna. That's where we bow down. Out of the 8 limbs of the Panchang Pranam, the Ashtang Pranam, the head is the foremost. Shirasa namami Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta Vachasa grinami Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta Shirasa namami Shirasa Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta Sharanam prapadye Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta. There's so many. So upon Lord Ram's feet or Krishna's feet, Śrī Krishna Chandra Charana, Shirasa namami, bow down my head. Of course, we don't wear helmet or crowns, right? These days, I think one devotee was sharing, instead of wearing crowns, everyone is wearing helmet. All right? Everyone is wearing helmet or some kind of fancy caps or whatnot. But anyways, so the word solitary is important here, because 2 reasons. Ultimately, Indra is Krishna's child, Krishna's devotee. So this is very important. Krishna is teaching us that if we have to, correct someone as their servant, as their well-wisher, as their, genuine, there should be proper mature understanding of time, place, situation. Even if we have to give a feedback, a constructive feedback. So what's the first thing? There are 3 things in here, right? And we will see that, all those. So what are the few things to give that if we have to, like Indra approached here? So the first thing, actually, that's like the 0, level 0, is basically, or what do we call it? Are we the right person? Correct? Right? Are we the right person to give that feedback? That's very, very important. Because you're not responsible for everyone and anyone in the world, but a father or a mother are certainly responsible for their children. Similarly, a guru is responsible for the disciple, provided the disciple has taken full shelter of the guru, right? And the disciple also shows that, yes, like how Kṛṣṇa did not give any advice in chapter 1 until Arjuna took full shelter. So if we are, we'll go to the next steps, but if we are not, then we can tell the right person. For example, because we may not be even aware of the full situation, right? For example, you go to a temple and what kind of example I should give? You see something inappropriate, okay? You just see something inappropriate. There are 2 options. Either you can just take it on your hands, correct? Or maybe, now it depends on your role in that temple. If you are a guest, probably the best thing is to tell the authorities, right? That Prabhu, Mataji, whoever is the authorities there, maybe you observed something, because we may not know the full picture. We may come to some conclusion without knowing the full picture, right? So in most cases, and the tendency of a conditioned soul is that we want to fix everything in the world, right? But we may not be the right person in quite a few or many circumstances, right? So are we the right person? Or do we have the right relationship with that person, right? It's kind of analogous, or it's kind of like similar. Or do we have the right relationship? Because if you give the feedback and that the person, actually, Nan Prabhu shared this video, if that person turns away and starts coming, so because that relationship may not be thick enough that if you say something, it will rather turn that person away from whatever even little he is doing or she is doing, then that means it's not, the relationship is not thick. So I'll just put it here. So there should be thick relationship. If we are, if our spiritual master chastises us, we should feel happy about it, that he has that relationship. If senior Vaishnavas chastise us for, something we did wrong, or there is room for improvement, so actually we should have someone who can correct us, who can give us genuine feedback as a selfless well-wisher, who is a selfless person who is genuinely interested in our benefit, to help us to grow, to improve, right? And how will that come? We should also be open to receiving and show that I am ready to receive it also. Because, so first point, are we the right person? Then is it So if the answer is yes, then we move to the step 2. Is it the right time, place, and circumstances, right? Desha kala patra. So paristhiti, basically. Okay, even though you may be the right person to give, but for example, if you chastise your child in front of 20 other children or 20 other people, that's not good. Even though you are the right person, even though you have good intentions, but it's not going to have a good impact. It's not going to have a favorable impact. It will have a very opposite impact, actually. So as we see, that's the focus for this verse, solitary, right? Lord Chaitanya also gave correction. Indra was here corrected in a solitary place. That's how I was reminded of this. Solitary place. And number 3 is how to give, right? So the circumstance should be right. Let's say the person is already, okay, even if the person is in solitary, but you have to understand, you have to be mature. That person is going through some hard time, or the person is very, he's emotionally in a difficult state, then you won't give that feedback. The person should be in a stable state to receive it also. So a lot of factors to be considered: circumstances, timing, place, right? Yeah. And then is the actual what kind of words we use, right? Right words. And also, so feedback can also be given, right, in different ways, right? And the mood, what's our mood, what's our intent. And in this, actually, there are like 3 steps, or like a sandwich formula. So even if we have to give, we should first genuinely share something good, right? Or appreciate that person. Everyone has good qualities in them, right? Right? Everyone has good qualities. If we have the eyes to see those, we should genuinely appreciate. And in between, we can share our constructive feedback, or whichever, to your son, to your disciple. To your disciple means student in this case, like where you're nurturing someone, you're trying to help someone. There could be room for improvement, and if you are the right person, if the circumstances are right, and this applies in everywhere, whether material circumstances or spiritual circumstances, right? You can genuinely share, and then also couple it with something else good about it. Don't end on a negative note. You're always doing this wrong, or like how we say it's very important. So this is what I heard way back in one of the classes. So we should, it may sound very simple, but needs a lot of maturity to apply this. So are we the right person? Is the relationship that's strong enough? Timing, place, circumstances, and then what is our intent? What kind of words we pick, right? The words should be, there's a beautiful verse, 17.15 in the Bhagavad Gita, right? Prabhupada mentions there, it should be beneficial. Satyam priyam hitam. Satyam priyam hitam. So satya, priya, and hit. Sometimes it could not be priya. No one likes to hear it, but it's beneficial. That's the most important thing. So sometimes a guru, a disciple, a father, a mother may speak something which is not so pleasing. No one wants to hear themselves getting corrected. But ultimately it's for the benefit. But even that can be made, nice by good emotional maturity. It should not be an outburst of our anger. We should try to understand their perspective also. Like when I was hearing a class recently, and maybe I shared this example, I don't recall. Let's say, sharing with maybe Shakrika or someone, let's say Kant Prabhu, let's say I go to Kant Prabhu, just for example, and he gives me a glass of water in a glass, right? Not steel glass, glass. And then I drink it, but due to my mistake, my unknowingly, I break the glass, right? It just slips from my hand, or whatever reason, the glass breaks, right? It was not a planned mistake. It was an accidental mistake, and the glass broke and it's shattered into pieces. Now, I would like Ekant Prabhu to forgive me that I made a mistake. And what will I say? Oh, gir gaya mujhse, right? Gir gaya, right? Giraya is I knowingly, dropped it, right? Or gir gaya and giraya, what difference, right? And then he's very kind, noble. He said, "Okay, Prabhu, it happens. It's not a big deal. It's okay. It's not, we'll take care of it. It'll be fine." So we clean up whatever and all that. But then when he comes to my home and the same thing happens with him, I say, "Why get a glass? Kyun gira diya?" Right? Why you dropped the glass? So that means I want to be understood, but I'm not ready to understand him. Correct? When the same thing happened with me, I want him to understand, oh, it was an accidental mistake. But when he does that mistake, I'm claiming it to be like kyun giraya. So the point where I'm trying to make here is we should try to understand also. Another devotee was sharing this, the authoritative style of parenting, the authoritative style, days have passed, times have changed. No one wants, earlier, even if the guru holds a stick and beats him, the disciple will keep serving the guru, right? And very nicely. And the guru would not do out of anger too. So anytime we do this, it should not out of emotional outburst. We can use anger when we are not angry. We can use anger when we are not angry. If we are angry, we cannot use anger. Anger is using us. So don't be angry when you are angry. Don't try to use anger thinking good things will come. It will when we are angry. When we are emotionally angry, we cannot expect good things to come out at that time. Right? Because intelligence is lost. But when we are not angry, when we are in a sober mood, then we will genuinely think how I should best help my child here, right? He or she needs some help. Maybe he or she did something wrong. I need to help him or her out. Same for in any situation. So the authoritative style has gone. We should try to have a more like a democratic style. Ask them, how they're feeling, what was on their mind when they did that. Maybe we're missing something out. And don't be in a permissive style either. Permissive means, okay, whatever you do is fine. Oh, you want a new iPad? Okay, I'll give you. You want a new bike? I'll give you. You want a new clothes? I'll give you. That's also like recipe for disaster. So both extremes are bad. Yeah. Any thoughts, comments here? You're talking about the solitary place in this verse. Okay, let's go to the next verse and see what happened in the solitary place. Text number 3. Would someone like to read this?
I can read Prabhuji. Hare devotees, Dhamma Pranam, all Krishna Bhagavatam. Text 3. Drishta Shun Sruta Nu Bhavo Ashaya Krishna's Am Krishna's Yamita Tejasha Nasto Tri Lokesho Madho Idam Aho Pita Jali. Translation by the devotees of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Indra had now heard of and seen the transcendental power of omnipotent Krishna, and his false pride in being the Lord of three worlds was thus defeated. Holding his hands together in supplication, he addressed the Lord as follows. So we see how Indra is surrendering the way should be done, at least trying to correct his mistakes. Back to Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So Indra had now heard. How he heard? Of course, he approached Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma must have certainly shared. And he had also heard in the past, of course, he's a devotee, right? So devotees hearing Krishna Katha, right? And by hearing, we understand who we truly are. So hearing is very, very important from senior Vaishnavas, from spiritual master. Hearing clarifies or helps us to truly understand our true position. Now, hearing what? We can hear so many things these days. Internet is full of so much types of videos, audio, so many apps and so many movies, so many this, songs, whatnot, right? Even if we have 1 million ears, can we hear everything? Right? We cannot hear everything with 100 million ears, what to speak, because every moment you see hundreds and millions of videos of are uploaded. What to speak of outside content, even in spiritual life, in Iskcon itself, like bona fide Iskcon, Guru, Parampara content, you cannot hear, even if we have 1,000 ears, because 1,000 lectures are being uploaded at practically every moment, which is a blessing in one way. But at the same time, we have a choice. So, Shravanadi Jal. So, Shravanam is very, very important. Shravan helps us to understand our mistake. Shravan helps us to, understand who am I. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunoy. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunoy. Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Kariya Uday. So it rises in the heart by Shravanadi, hearing, etc., hearing, chanting. So hearing is very important. And now we also a beautiful lesson here. Krita Anjali. Anjali. Krita Anjali. This is like Krita Anjali. Prayerful mood. And you may say, well, Krishna sees the mood. Why hands are important? Correct? So first he offered pranam. Correct? We discussed that. Very simple, very, very systematic. That's what we also should do. First, we offer Dandavat Pranam. We go to the deities, devotees. We offer pranams, bow down our head. Then we should offer prayers, which Indra is going to do. Holding his hands in supplication, in humble mood. Krita Anjali. This is Krita Anjali. I'm sure most of you grew up in India. And we used to do prayer like this, right? Nowadays, I think in India, of course, they teach this, but in US, I don't think they teach this. I asked kids the other day. They don't teach any prayer or anything in the school. But at least we can teach as parents, right? This is Kritanjali Mudra. This is in the Bhagavatam. At multiple places, not just here. At many places we see this Kritanjali Mudra. So we should join our hands. Joining hands, so the externals help us to cultivate the internal mood. Are externals important? Someone will say, well, is why, someone can do prayer lying down on the bed. Can they do it? And like, okay, relax. Yes, what's going on, right? Like casually sitting, like lying down on their, it's not impossible. It's doable. But the externals help us to cultivate the internal mood as well. So the externals are very conducive. So whenever we approach the temple, as we discussed yesterday, Abhigaman, we should approach in that mood that I'm going to the temple. Therefore, we leave our slippers outside, right? We leave our cars, like in olden days, even the kings, they would leave the palanquin outside. They would not enter the temples on their palanquin. These days, the cars are there. You don't have palanquins, right? So the point is, again, how we are offering prayers. So Indra is going to offer prayers, but in a very humble mood. Vandana is going to offer some prayers. He addressed the Lord in a supplication. What does supplication mean? Kind of humility, etc. The action of asking or begging something earnestly or humbly, right? So it's like a humble plea, yachna, right? So he's begging. And when we are begging, we really mean it, right? So again, sign of humility. Any other thoughts, comments here before we move on?
Prabhuji, I think this is also connection to the 3 points you mentioned before. If somebody tries to correct us, we listen, and it is our responsibility to be humble, leave our false pride, and listen to what they're saying and implement, instead of thinking, why is he saying, why should he tell me, who is he to tell me, all that questions. Do you think so?
Yes. Very good connection, Mataji. Very, very good connection. Because see, it's for anyone, for a guru to correct a disciple is not an easy thing. It's like a thankless task. And he is taking a great risk also. Because how the person may react. Even he has best intentions, best relationship, best mood, best words, but still sometimes if the person is not ready and he takes that risk, let's say she takes that risk to give that feedback. But as you said, if that person retaliates, how dare you say this to me, you don't know, and then justifies, no, Prabhu, you didn't understand me, right? Trying to justify the mistake. So humble people receive feedback openly, honestly, and try to correct it. But proud people, even if they get that feedback, they will justify how they were correct, and they will not be able to take it correctly. So humility is like that right container, right, which is ready to receive. And pride is that the container is full. I already know what's good, what's best for me. Don't tell me anything. So even if they, let's say one time, it was an accidental thing and the Guru said something, next time he won't dare to say anything. If we are not the right recipient, if we, as you said, if we don't receive it, then the Guru says, sorry, maybe I'm sorry, I should have not said that. Maybe, sorry, I misunderstood you. Sorry, you are right, I am wrong. Right? I think that's where you are connecting this, Mataji, right?
Yes, Prabhuji, how Indra is like now his false pride is defeated and with folded hands is asking Kṛṣṇa forgiveness.
Wonderful. Okay, maybe you can read the next verse and see what he is sharing.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Indra uvacha Vishuddha Sattvam Tavadhama Shantam Tapomayam Vishrajas Tamaskam Maya Mayoyam Guna Sampravaho Navidyate Te Grhananubandha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's disciples. King Indra said, your transcendental form, a manifestation of pure goodness, is undisturbed by change, shining with knowledge and devoid of passion and ignorance. In you does not exist the mighty flow of the modes of material nature, which is based on illusion and ignorance. Purport. The great Bhagavatam commentator Srila Sridhara Swami has masterfully explained the Sanskrit element of this profound verse. The Sanskrit word dhamma has several meanings: a dwelling place, house, abode, and so on. B, a favorite thing or person, delight or pleasure. C, form of appearance. D, power, strength, majesty, glory, splendor, or light. Concerning the first set of meanings, the Vedanta Sutra states that the absolute truth is the source and resting place of all existence. And in the first verse of the Bhagavatam, that absolute truth is said to be Kṛṣṇa. Although Lord Kṛṣṇa exists in his own Dhamma or abode called Kṛṣṇa Loka, he himself is the abode of all existence, as Arjuna confirms in the Bhagavad Gita, where he addressed Kṛṣṇa as Param Dhamma, the supreme abode. The very name Kṛṣṇa indicates the all-attractive person, and thus Lord Kṛṣṇa, the source of all beauty and pleasure, is certainly the favorite thing or person, delight and pleasure. Ultimately, these terms can refer only to Kṛṣṇa. Prabhuji, can I continue or somebody should read? Looks like it's a big purport.
Maybe we can read till here and then.
Okay. Okay. Dhamma also refers to form or appearance. And as Indra offered these prayers, he was in fact directly seeing the form of Kṛṣṇa before him. As clearly explained in the Vedic literature, Lord Kṛṣṇa's power, strength, majesty, splendor, and affluence are all contained within his transcendental body and thus attest to the infinite glories of the Lord. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, just checking it. So maybe two more devotees can read this.
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Certainly.
Hare Krishna to everyone.
Yes, please.
Srila Sridhara Swami has brilliantly summarized all these meanings of the word Dhamma by giving the Sanskrit term Swarupa as a synonym. The word Swarupa means one's own form or shape, and also one's own condition, character or nature. Since Lord Kṛṣṇa, being pure spirit, is non-different from his body, there is absolutely no difference between the Lord and his visible form. By contrast, in this material world, we conditioned souls are all distinctly different from our bodies. Whether those bodies be male, female, black, white, or whatever. All of us are eternal souls, different from our temporary, flimsy bodies. When the word Swarupa is applied to us, it especially indicates our spiritual form, because our own form is in fact our own condition, character, or nature, eternally. Thus, the liberated condition in which one's outward form is one's deepest spiritual nature is called Swarupa. Primarily, however, this term refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. It is all indicated in the verse by the words Tava Dhamma, as explained by Sridhara Swami. Sridhara Swami has explained that here the word Santam means always in the same form. Santam can also mean undisturbed, free from passion, or purified. According to Vedic philosophy, all changes in this world is caused by the influence of passion and ignorance. The passionate mode is creative and the ignorant destructive. Whereas the mode of goodness, sattva, is serene and sustaining in many ways. These words emphasize the Lord Krishna is free from the modes of nature. The words Vishuddha, Sattvam, Santam, Navasta, Rajas, Tamaskam, and Guna Samparvaho na Vidyate te all indicate this. Unlike Krishna, we can change from one body to another because of our involvement with the modes of nature. The various transformations of material forms are impelled by the modes of nature, which are themselves set in motion by the influence of time. Therefore, one who is free from the material modes of nature is changeless and eternally satisfied in blissful spiritual existence. Thus, the word Santa indicates that the Lord is undisturbed by the change, since he is free from the material modes of nature. An additional meaning of the word Agrahana is derived when it is divided.
Very well.
Divided. Yes, Prabhu.
You missed this one.
Oh, I'm sorry, Prabhu. According to these words, the powerful flow of a material modes of nature, namely passion, stupidity, and mundane piety, are based on agrahana, which Srila Sridhara Swami has translated as ignorance. Since the Sanskrit root grah means to take, accept, grasp, or comprehend. Grahana means grasp, exactly the sense of to grasp an idea or fact. Therefore, agrahana means one's failure to understand one's spiritual position, and this failure causes one to fall into violent current of material existence. An additional meaning of the word agrahana is derived when it is divided into compound agra and hana. Agra means the first, top, or best, and hana means killing. The best part of our existence is the pure soul, which is eternal in contradiction to the temporary material body and mind. Thus, one who chooses material existence over Krishna consciousness is in fact killing the best part of himself. The soul, which is in its pure state, can enjoy Krishna consciousness unlimitedly. Srila Sridhar Swami has translated Tapo Mayam as full of knowledge. The word tapas, generally indicating austerity, is derived from the Sanskrit verb tapa, whose meaning can be summarized as indicating the various functions of the sun. Tap means to burn, to shine, to heat, and so on. The Supreme Lord is eternally. Just a second. The Supreme Lord is eternally perfect, and therefore here Tapo Mayam does not indicate that his transcendental body is meant for austeries. Since austeries are performed by the conditioned souls to purify themselves or to acquire a particular power. An omnipotent, perfect being neither purifies himself nor acquires power. He is eternal, pure, and all powerful. Therefore, Sridhara Swami has intelligently understood that in this case, the word tapas refers to illuminating function of the sun and thus indicates that the Lord's self-effulgent body is omniscient. Light is a common symbol of knowledge The world's spiritual effulgence does not merely illuminate physically, as in the case of a candle or light bulb. More importantly, the Lord's body illuminates our consciousness with perfect knowledge, because of the Lord's effulgence is itself perfect knowledge. We offer our spiritual obeisances at the lotus feet of Srila Sridhara Swami and thank him for his enlightening comments on these words. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Sharnya Mataji and Varun Prabhu, for reading this nice verse. I know there was a lot there. What do we remember? Anyone remembers something from this verse? Let's do some churning. We heard so much. Anything struck you from this verse?
So, Prabhuji, when I was reading the purport, I understood, I thought about Krishna is the cause of all causes. He is the Supreme Personality. He is the first originator. And we are not this material body, but our spirit souls who, like coming back to yesterday, we should have Krishna in everything we do, because he is all attractive. We should find pleasure in serving him. And we, like again, as a residue, going back to Godhead, his Dharma is just a residue of the bhakti. But the love, the devotion, the surrender that we get while keeping Krishna in the center is the ultimate, I think, pleasure for anyone. Maybe that's what I'm thinking, Prabhuji. There was a lot, but I remember few.
Thank you. Very, very nice. So, Indra Uvacha, Indra speaks. The word Uvacha means speak, like Krishna Uvacha, Vyasa Uvacha, right? In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna Uvacha, Shri Bhagavan, this word. When it's singular, it's called Uvacha. When it's plural, like Krishna, Uchuhu, multiple people are speaking. We call it Uchuhu. Vishuddha Sattvam Tavadhamas Shantam. Sattva is goodness. Vishuddha Sattvas. Very, very special. Shuddha, pure goodness. Transcendental goodness. Tavadhama. So all the goodness. And dham has 4 meanings here, as we were talking about. And then Sridhara Swami, so a great acharya in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara, is explaining. So dham, I think most commonly known meaning, dham means source, abode, tadhama paramam mama, right? As mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. Dham means, the one meaning is, as per Sridhar Swami here, is place. Jagannath Puri Dham, Mayapur Dham, right? Dham also means delight, pleasure. Krishna is the source of all the delight, pleasure, happiness. Dham also means appearance, form. And the last meaning here is power or strength. So, Shantam. What does the word Shantam mean here? Can anyone share from what we just read? What does the word Shantam mean? The literal meaning is changeless, Shanta, right? And this quality we can also try to develop. Now, how is Krishna changeless? Changeless in the sense we keep changing bodies, correct? But Krishna is Satchidananda. Last life I could be in a dog species. Maybe in the previous life before that I could be an elephant species. Maybe before that in some, fish body. My mood keeps changing. My actions keep changing. Sometimes I'm angry, sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm sad, sometimes. So emotional disturbances, but the jiva. But Krishna Sometimes I'm in the mode of ignorance, sometimes the mode of goodness, very rare. Sometimes and mostly in the mode of passion and ignorance, right? Keeps changing, right? Sometimes I think this person is my friend, sometimes I think this person is my enemy, again changing. Dualities basically. But the Supreme Lord is Shuddha Sattva, is Shantam, is always in pure transcendental bliss. He's changeless, right? He's always the Supreme Lord. Tapomayam, the source of all the strength, and full of knowledge. And what does he do? Dvasta, shining with knowledge, destroys passion and ignorance. So basically it's a glorification that those even who take shelter of him, Kṛṣṇa Dhama, Tava Dhama, they are also their ignorance, Rajas is, and Tamas. Rajas and Tamas are Dvasta. Dvasta means destroyed. And in you does not exist the mighty flow of modes of nature, which is based on illusion and ignorance. Maya mayuyam guna samprabhava. Guna ka sampravaha. Which are the gunas? Satagun, Rajagun, Tamagun. Na vidyate. They do not exist in you. Because he is always in pure bliss. Te griha nu bandhanaha. Bandha. We are the conditioned souls in this world are bound in the ropes, right? As we were talking the other day, I think yesterday or day before, we are bound in these ropes, but we don't feel bound. These are called the golden ropes. The mode of goodness is the gold rope. The mode of passion is the silver rope or shackles. And iron shackles, mode of ignorance. So we are bound in these shackles, but sometimes, these are golden, so they are like gold or silver, and we feel, it's not a shackle. So these are like Maya's shackles. Maya has bound the conditioned soul. But Maya cannot bind Kṛṣṇa. Rather, Kṛṣṇa is the master of Maya. Durga Puja festival is going on, Navratri and all is going on, right? We respect Durga Mata a lot, Krishna's energy, Krishna's, right? But true respect is to understand who she really is and how she'll really be happy, right? And that is when we become devotee of Krishna. Then she will release us from these shackles. As we were discussing the other day, the example of tug of war and Devi Isha Gunamai Mam Maya Duratyaya Mamevi Prapadyanti Maya Mitam Tarantite. Maya is very strong, binds us, and you don't even feel like the Trishul, right? The Trishul represents the three tap, Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik, Adi Atmik, right? Adi Bhautik means caused by other living entities. The boss is torturing us. The other neighbor could be torturing. Mosquitoes biting, the miseries due to other living beings. Then Adi Daivik, due to an outcome of our karma given by the demigods, like floods, hurricanes, tsunamis, and whatnot, right? Then this is by one's own body and mind, Adi Atmika. Stress, hypertension, so many depression, so many all these propensities. One's own body is a source of so much problem, right? We all know that. So she keeps giving us these different kinds of pains or discomfort. Why? Does she like? Right? She likes to see our suffering. No, she is basically also Krishna's devotee. She is trying to help us come out. Why are the prisoners given punishment in the jail? Because the jailer likes to torture them, right? The jailer is very happy to see them suffer, to see them go through punishment. Will the government be happy if the jails are empty? Or will they be miserable? Oh no, the jails are empty. We should somehow get more people in here and torture them. No, genuine government, they're not talking about, not going in politics, but a true prison will be happy if it's, there are less people there, correct? And a true jailer does not want to, it's a thankless task, like Yamraj's task, it's a thankless task of giving punishment. He doesn't like to do that, but what to do? It's part of universal, like in a society or in a city, jail is there. But it's not that government wants to keep that, but they have to keep that because there are always some elements who don't want to follow the law and order. So it's actually material world is like those, for those people, those Baddha Jiva like myself, who do not want to follow Krishna's law and order. And that's why we are here. But we don't feel we are in a jail. This is how tricky this is. And we still have some minute freedom, especially in the human species. Like a tiger doesn't have freedom to eat deer or to eat maybe halwa puri. He'll eat deer. Right? Because he's in the bhogayona, but we are in the karma. There is some minute freedom so that we can make the right choice and get out of the jail. So, talking a little bit about the Krishna's energy and the Durga Puja concept here, understanding. So Durga Mata doesn't want to torture, but she has to, so that we can feel the pain and try to remember Krishna and try to understand, try to get to our senses. As you were discussing in this verse also, try to get back to our senses, try to really understand, right? Swarupa, our own true form, our own condition, eternal spiritual being, right? But here it's referring to Lord Krishna. So you see here, Indra is glorifying, the first verse always is to genuinely glorify Krishna's quality. So basically he's glorifying Krishna's quality, how he's Vishuddha Sattva, how he's the source of all the beautiful form, he's changeless, he's not afflicted by the material modes, and he's the one who destroys ignorance, passion, etc., etc., etc. So basically glorifying the greatness of God. He's not just coming to his point, hey Krishna, please forgive me, right? He's glorifying the Krishna's greatness, Krishna's glories. Glorification means to express the glories she's doing. Any thoughts, comments, corrections, any additions here? It was a long purport.
Yeah, very well explained, Prabhuji. Very good to hear.
I was very happy to meet Varan Prabhu yesterday. Somehow I couldn't meet Jitendra Prabhu, but hopefully in the next program. I hope you're feeling better and your wife is feeling better.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. Surely we'll meet.
You. Any last comments before we wrap up for today? Grantraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Purana ki jai, Jagat Guru Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhya evacha, Patatanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.